Hey guys, and welcome to There's a New Tank Available Somehow, so here's a new video. Today I will be talking to you about the Caliban. Basically, the Caliban is a tier 8 UK British heavy, and it's sort of like known as the tier 8 Death Star, at least that's what it's been nicknamed. There's been a lot of rumors about it, and I'm here to tell you about the things that I love and hate about this tank, and mainly hate about this tank, to be fair, because the thing is, it's not a bad tank. It can be great fun when it works for you. The thing is, because if it's derp gun, there's a lot of times that it will not actually work for you. So it's iffy. I'm not particularly a fan of derp guns. I can work them if I want to. I just don't really enjoy them all that much. So basically, the DPM on this tank is 1650 if you use AP, which goes up to 2446 if you use the hash, but at the same time you do have to trust that the hash will actually pen to basically reach that DPM. The penetration is 218 for the AP, it is 170 for the hash. It's got an alpha of 580 for the AP and 860 for the hash. It's got a rate of fire of 2.84 seconds per rounds per minute, which means that it's got a reload of 21.1 seconds, which is very, very long. The caliber is 152.4, the shell velocity is 500 for the AP and only 354 for the hash. And that is the main thing that I dislike about this tank altogether, because it's nice, and the shell velocity just really lets it down, because it makes it, you can see your shell leaving your tank and then arriving at the target maybe a few minutes later or something. I do not mind the derp gun as much as if the shells actually fly at a reasonable speed, and that's just not the case with this tank. So that part was quite frustrating. It's got an aim time of 255 seconds, dispersion of 0.5. It's got a gun depression of 8 degrees, elevation of 9 degrees. It goes 30 kilometers per hour forwards, 14 kilometers per hour backwards, and it's got an engine power of 570. Now, this is the other thing that I kind of dislike about this tank. It feels very sluggish. Like, it doesn't have the mobility to be epic, it doesn't have the armor to be epic. It has a gun that is derpy, so it makes it basically difficult. It can either be epic or absolutely not epic at all. And that's something that I just really, really struggle with. I'm trying to find the strength in this tank. The strength is in the gun, but it doesn't really help you hunk down somewhere. It doesn't really help you get those shots actually in, so that's an issue. So, it's got a camera rating while standing still of 12%, while on the move that is 6%, and after shooting that drops to respectively 3 and 1%. It's got a view range of 230, HP of 1700, weighs 40.33 tons. The turret armor is 120 in the front, 50 on the side and 40 in the rear, where the hull armor is 94 in the front, 40 on the sides and 35 in the rear. This is basically where I start noobing out. I should have made different calls here. I was hoping that they would try to push the ballistic and then I could support him. And because they could one-shot me, I didn't want to actually make that move and get around them. But they were actually smarter, they waited, so I've actually sped up the video to twice the speed so that it's a little bit less boring to watch. That's why it's like moving rapidly now. But yeah, he was wanted help, and I wanted to give him some help, but at the same time I didn't quite know how without jeopardizing things on my own. So just in the end it all didn't work out. This shot not going and is actually game changing as well, and I'm trying to get away, get the paces and everything. But yeah, in the end even my game derped, so basically everything started to become against me here. No, actually I noobed out earlier, didn't make the right calls. And then when the game derped, that literally finished me off, you'll see. Because that's actually, I tried to stop and the game just was like, nope, you just can keep going. No problem. So that was a little bit frustrating, because this was actually a really good game up until that point where I tried to help the Borsig, but they didn't actually push him, which was not a good thing. So yeah, we lost that one, but I decided to show it anyway, because especially the first part of the game, it shows the strengths of this tank and how it can actually work. And it's the same with the second game that I've got for you, which is actually, luckily, a win, which I'm very happy with, because that also shows the strength of this tank. And the thing is that, like I said, When this tank works for you, it really works for you. If those derpy shots go in and you do the massive amounts of damage, it is absolutely beautiful. But like with most derp guns, if they do not, or you hit the tracks, or you miss, or basically the shell arrives a minute after the tank has already moved from where you're shooting, then it is a little bit frustrating. And I think that that is the way to drive this tank. Do not take it too seriously. Have fun with it. Tune with it. Basically, with a tune mate, you can work it out. They can help you reload in peace. They can finish off the tanks that you derp but don't quite kill off. And that will generally just really help you out with this tank. In my opinion, it needs a little bit of extra attention, a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of love, a little bit of mobility, or a little bit of armor. Not both, but just like make it a little bit more mobile or a little bit more armored, so then it can perform better. At the same time, when you do shots like this, and you take 2 shots back that are still like not even half the damage that you did, that's saying a lot as well. So I'm now using the Force as basically armor for me. Because he's there, so he's going to absorb the shots. Toby finish off the guy that I shot first. And then he's looking away and I can derp him and do loads and loads of damage. So it's kind of like those sort of things that make this tank quite a lot of fun. Especially when you're tuning and you can dish out damage and kills together. It kind of feels like you're driving the Annihilator and the Smasher together that way. Because it can really, really work. At the same time, it is a tier higher. I think that it would struggle more against tier 9s. Especially with the getting eaten alive part. Because that's always tricky. But now we're like sort of pushing the Lorraine together. And he's letting me HE him first. And then he can shoot him back. But this is kind of like when the derp shots go in, it is beautiful. When you have the time to aim and the time to shoot. And the shell has the time to actually arrive at the target. It can be absolutely beautiful. And that's the thing that I like most about this tank. That being said though, this tank supposedly comes in crates. Crates are bad, okay? And basically you can gamble a lot and still not get what you want. I do not know if you're going to get charms for this tank or not. The last couple of times they've not really done that, so I'm not really a fan of that either. And it means that makes it all the more easy to basically gamble your life savings away in the hope of getting the tank. So do not do that. Do not gamble your life savings. And yeah, like I said, crates are bad. The tank overall is quite fun. I think that if you do not take it too seriously, but you drive it a bit like a Death Star, not campy, but you know, with the gun and everything, take into account that half your shots will miss or not do the damage that you want, then you will do just fine and enjoy this tank. So that's basically my little review of this tank. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you guys the next time again. Bye bye!